Hello.
I I find that I contract in my relationship with my partner. I find that I can be really open outside of that, but I find that I've done a lot of inner child work and I have periods where we're really open, but then I've found in the last week I've been really contracted just around mother wounding and a whole bunch of other stuff.
She's your teacher. You see, I got to tell you this. My best teachers were the women that I was with because they were the ones that could hurt me. And I used those relationships to practice openness while I was under fire. And it's hard because we get caught in injustice and all sorts of other things when our wounding gets touched. But they are our best teachers because they are going to show us exactly where we need to go inside ourselves and stay open and allow ourselves to feel when whatever's going on is going on. And heck, man, I failed so many times before I got good at it. But it gave me the opportunity to practice. You can't practice openness if nothing's happening. You can only really practice surrender and openness when there's something to surrender to, when something's going wrong. And so I looked at my partners as my best teachers of higher consciousness because they were showing me where I was stuck. And so rather than see the relationship as something negative because it wasn't working, I started to see it as, aha, this is my teacher. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I really stepped into that space this week and opened to her, and I found that the following day she really contracted in that openness.
I punished you for being open. Ha ha. How dare you? Well, that gives you another opportunity because there's an injustice in that to you, your mind, and there's a closure. There could be a closure in that feeling of injustice, but rather than close, see how much you can stay open even while you're feeling the pain of whatever's been touched, because there'll be pain being touched. And it's hard. I've never ever suggested to anyone this stuff is easy. Healing the wounds of our heart is hard. And what you'll find in the willingness to feel, you'll discover there's belief systems in play that actually need to be examined and undone. Like I used to have a belief system that people shouldn't abandon me or reject me, particularly partners. But I recognised that those belief systems were out of touch with the reality of the world I lived in because people did abandon me and they did betray me. And so I was being delusional in believing that those things shouldn't happen, and the expectations based on those beliefs used to create contraction in me. And so I undid the beliefs. And now I know that people are going to betray me and people are going to reject me. And it's actually okay. So now if that occurs, there's no contraction. And because I was willing to feel that wounding, I started to heal it. And there's nothing there anymore. Wasn't easy, but I gave myself no choice. I don't know another way that works. I also did all the inner child work, years and years of it. I needed to have a partner to show me where I was still stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, for me this week, that's what's come up, right? There's been, when I examined why the situations arose, and then I went back to my childhood and went, that happened here, and I've held on to that, but wasn't aware of it, so it's kind of just opened up some fresh wounds to heal. Indeed.
Well, probably old wounds.
Yeah, old wounds.
Yeah,
awareness to old wounds.
And that more than likely they're protected and by defence systems, and they have belief systems attached to them. And I just wasn't interested in contracting to life. I wasn't interested in living as resistance, which is what happens when we contract, because it's awful and it's suffering. And when you really step back and look, you get to see, well, I'm creating that resistance, therefore I'm creating that suffering. It's not what my partner's done or hasn't done, it's me. I'm creating my suffering. I'm responsible for this. That's a pretty big step though. The world doesn't change. The world just does what it does. Your partner is just the world. And I saw it as an advantage after a while because the world didn't touch me much, but the people close to me could. They were my best teachers.